Hi and welcome to Fish and Tips. I recently posted a video on Facebook. No, I didn't. Hi and welcome to Fish and Tips. I recently posted a post on Facebook asking about a question and answers video where I ask you to ask me questions that I will answer on the video. Now I got actually asked a few times, and especially one by a good friend of mine, Luke Robson, is for this question here. Why did I start my channel and who am I subscribed to and why? This I thought was a very interesting question. The reason I've picked this now instead of doing a question and answers video, which I will do later, is I thought that it's, instead of doing videos about it's all about you, where I do ones about you and I do ones about shops and I do ones about companies, etc., I thought I'd do one about myself. Some of you may already know me, some of you may not. So what I thought I'd do is I'd explain a bit more about myself, why I do what I do, what I know, how long I've been in a hobby, and answer a few basic questions. My name is Joe Campbell. I'm 27 years old. I've been in the hobby since I was about 9 or 10 years old, starting from small tanks. Now, when I started off, I did the same trick as everybody else. I got a small tank. I filled it with every fish going because I thought it looked cool. I thought it's in the shop, you just buy it. It's like sweets, but you can buy a bag of sweets and pick a mix, just put them all in. Obviously, I learned the hard way, but it doesn't work that way. I took a lot of inspiration from my cousin James Evans and his dad. They used to do a lot of clubs and competitions. They used to do, their tanks are absolutely stunning. They aquascaped them, they did them perfectly planted setups, absolutely gorgeous. And that's where I got most of my inspiration from. A few years down the line, after keeping a few more tanks and getting a bit more experience, I thought this is something I can really get my teeth into and really, something I really enjoyed. So I started going into breeding. Started off with the age-old convicts, thinking I was a prolific breeder because I've bred some convicts. Soon realised that that's not the case and they're more like rabbits. Then I started going on to the harder species. I started keeping many tanks. Got a bit out of hand at some point, but eventually I got it back down to a few tanks. Then I started working in Lord Street Aquatics. Now Lord Street Aquatics is quite relevant for me because that's where I met my wife, Kerry Campbell. It's also where Kerry Campbell realised that I'm a bit of a fish geek and I drive her nuts with it, but that's a separate situation. From working in Lord Street Aquatics, I gained a lot of good skills. Not only from keeping different fish, which I already had a basic knowledge of. I kept fish that I didn't know about. I say kept, but it's more because obviously we sold them in the tanks, but when you're keeping them in a tank, when you work for a shop and you work in, and you've got all these tanks, they become personal. You stock them how you want to stock them, you make them look how you want them to look, so they're appealing to customers. Not only that though, but I learnt how to deal with customers. I've been in sales all my life. This is a different ballgame altogether. When you're working in an aquatic shop, you'll find that customers come in and they have no clue about fish, most of them. So they're coming in relying on you to tell them what's right. They've either seen a friend's tank, they've seen a parent's tank, and they want to replicate it themselves. This is where it gets good, because my knowledge was shared with everybody else. My passion was fish keeping. My passion was helping people out, which I did at the shop. I'd get a lot of people coming in asking for certain fish, and I'd advise them that it wasn't always right, and then I'd advise them what fish were right. So then they'd walk out, not always with a fish because they'd have to get the right setup first, but they'd walk out with the right knowledge, the right experience, and the right advice. And I got a bit of a buzz from that. So from that, I then decided to open my own Facebook page, which is Fish for Sale or Swaps in Grimsby and Cleethorpes. It's one of the biggest in the areas now and it's doing really well. From there I've gained an amazing group of friends. We've got some amazing admin on there which are basically covering areas that I don't know about. I've gained more experience from that. I've shared my experience. I've helped out a lot of people as much as I can. But again, it wasn't enough for me. I'm not getting anything out of it, but it wasn't enough for me. I wanted to help people out more. I wanted to do something for other people. So what I did then is I started this YouTube channel. Now I spoke a lot on the group about the YouTube channel. I asked people advice on what sort of things they'd like to see. So I created it about 9 or 10 months ago now. And obviously, as you can see from the first videos, they're not the best of qualities. The cameras were poor, it was basically my phone camera. I mean, saying that, my phone is the camera right now, but I am getting a new camera soon. But as you can see, the editing skills were very limited. I did it all on an iPad, on using iMovie, so my editing skills again were extremely novice. But after time, you can see they start to improve. Some of the videos got a massive amount of success. Some of them now are in excess of 13,000 views. I started working with companies like Oata, with a good chance of doing other work with other companies, which is now coming along. Oata I'd worked for doing the Hands Off My Hobby campaign, which was basically protecting the hobby. Now the campaign ended, but it's still very much active, the idea of Hands Off My Hobby, and I will be doing more work with that in the future. Not only did I get that, I've got work to do with InJaff, I've got to work to do with All Pond Solutions. I've gained some amazing contacts through that. I've gained some amazing experience. I've got a list as long as my arm of videos that I've got to come out for you, which keep an eye out for, and I will be doing it. I'm aiming to start doing it once a week, so I've been saying I was going to do that before, but things get a bit preoccupied and it just takes time. Editing a single video takes several hours. I started doing shop tours. Six Hills Aquatics was a fantastic opportunity for me. Again, what I've learned from all this YouTube channel is not only can I help people out, I can answer questions for you. If people ask me or comment on my posts or my videos saying, oh, I need to know how to make a gravel cleaner, if I need to know how to make a certain filter, what sort of lights are best for my tank, I would then go about trying to make that one of my list videos to make, so that I can help people out. And not just the person that's asked, it can help out thousands of others. And as this channel grows, it gets a bit more successful, more people see it, and the more people get helped out. Again, I don't do this for money, I don't do this for anything else. I just do it for the fact that I want to help people out. I want to make sure that you've all got the right advice, the correct advice. There's always a wrong advice and there's always good advice. There's conflict in areas, but I like to say my opinions through trial and error, through experience, through knowledge, through everything. I've even gained the chance to work for a magazine, online magazine, Aqua Eden, one of the ones that I did a video here for recently, working with Siren Ellis. Now this is a fantastic opportunity because I can do articles, news, reviews, etc. Fish profiles. This is quite an exciting opportunity for me as well, and for Simon. Next year we are looking to do a 6-monthly magazine produced and published, and then eventually, if it goes well, we're going to start doing it over time. I am of course open to all criticism, so if you ever don't like my videos, you're more than welcome to put a thumbs down, but it would be much better for me to be able to answer your queries. So if you just want to leave a comment under my videos, or go onto my Facebook page, or even just send me an email on this email address here, ask me the question. If you think I'm wrong on a video, say it. Explain what you think. Explain why you think it's wrong. If it is wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say, yeah, it was wrong, or I'll just say it's my opinion, my way of doing it. Or if you think there's a way I can do something a bit better on a video, or if you've seen any of my ideas that are doing, and you think, actually no, that's not the best way of doing it, this is the best way of doing it, and I will do that for you. Right, now that's the reason I got into the YouTube channel, to help out people. Now when it comes to the second part of the question, who am I subscribed to and why, the first subscription I ever made was to Waru Joey. He's now known under the name of the King of DIY, Joey Mullen. Now, most of you will have already seen his videos. He does one every Thursday and one every Friday. Sorry, no, every Sunday. And his videos are very much a similar sort of style to mine, or should I say my videos are a similar style to his. They're DIY, they're shop tours, they're stories, they're vlogs, they're everything like that. But it's everything aquatic, and it's a good watch, and he's now got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He's one of the original ones that I watched and took a lot of inspiration from. Now himself, you'll see his videos started off quite edgy, quite shaky. Over time they built up and got much better. The second one that I subscribed to is Pond Guru. Richard of Pond Guru was one of my favourite YouTube channels to watch. Not only did he do fish, he was working for Tyne Valley Aquatics, so he did basic common knowledge, common experience as well, as alongside other DIY videos. But also he was very much more in-depth and detailed when it comes down to certain videos. His videos were very much like mine, were very raw, were very shaky, were very to the point. And that's what I liked about him. But not only that, but Richard was one of the first ones to help me out, and he offered to send me the media. I did the Buy a Home media video. All that media was provided to me free of charge by Richard to help me out with the channel. So again, thank you again for Richard. Other channels were such as Dustin's Fish Tanks. Dustin is an amazing person to watch. He's got a very unique style. He's quite loud. He's almost gangster-like, it's fantastic. It sounds almost cringeworthy, but when you watch it, it's brilliant. There's other ones with Rick that did interviews with other companies. There's KG Tropicals. The list could go on, but basically they're all fish keeping ones. A lot of the ones I'm subscribed to now, though, not only the fish ones, I've got a big expanded subscription list, say for example, of people who I'm subscribed to that are in the fish keeping world. But I've also subscribed to a lot of editing or camera YouTubers, that I'm learning editing tricks from. A lot of the editing tricks that I've learned are all from YouTube. It's all self-taught. You can tell on most of them, but I try my best on it. And that's basically who I'm subscribed to. Now a little bit more about me. Obviously I'm 27 years old, like I said earlier. I have got an amazing wife, Kerry Campbell. I drive her nuts with the fish. But it's my passion. We've also got 7 kids between us. We've got 5 of them living at home. And times can get a bit hard, but it's home, it's perfect, it's our family. Now most of you will know the kids already. Some of them are already starting to get into fish, the younger 2 especially, and hopefully they'll be taking over me soon. Now what you'll notice, some of you may have noticed that at the start of the video, and in this corner here, one of the corners here, is not only the logo, but there's a little purple ribbon. Now the reason I put that purple ribbon is, my wife suffers from a condition called chronic pancreatitis. Now this condition is incurable, it's debilitating, it's basically calcifying the pancreas and it's starting to affect other parts of the body. Now it's gone quite progressive, it's quite far on at the stages at the moment, so I'm now a full-time carer for my wife. I don't work, I do it all for my wife. My wife can't work, I look after my wife and my children. That's one of the other reasons I do these videos. Now I know that sounds a bit odd, but basically by doing these videos I'm gaining more experience, not only in media, not only on YouTube, but in magazines, publishing, in the fish keeping, within the industry, the politics of the industry. By doing this I'm building up a huge portfolio of contacts and knowledge. What I want to do is that if anything was to happen, I want to be able to use this to gain a career from, so that I could look after our kids. So I'm using it as a future investment, also, so to speak. It's not a nice thing to think about. But it's part of life and we're making positive as much as possible about it. I love my wife to bits and everybody that knows her loves her too. She's such an infectious, amazing character. And this is all what I'm doing for her and the family.